Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and welcome to another video where I'm here to show you guys how to beat the Super Slasher boss battle really easily in Infinite Warfare Zombies. Because, you know, of course right now we have the boss battles feature right now. That is just an awesome feature in my personal opinion for this Halloween event that's going on in Infinite Warfare. And of course the boss battle feature are game modes of all the zombie maps, only you're only doing the boss battles. You're not actually playing the map itself, you're just going straight into the boss battles. You don't have to do any of the Easter egg quests. Really awesome. And so in this video I'm here to show you guys how to beat the Super Slasher boss battle really easily. And of course Super Slasher is basically the boss battle from Rave in the Redwoods. So anyway, the first things first, the number one tip I want to give you guys is play this boss battle solo. And the reason why I say that is because I have played it with other people on my team, and of course I didn't play with my friends, but I played with random people from public match, and they either have no idea what to do or they are just gonna rage quit because they keep going down all the time, which of course going down is a little bit of an issue considering you can't get your perks back unless you're using like a certain like Fate and Fortune card, of course. But anyway, yes, I highly recommend doing it solo. It's gonna be way easier, trust me. So anyway, the first thing you want to do once you're in the Afterlife arcade, of course you can pick whatever upgraded weapons and perks you want, right? So for perks, I think it's really standard. Just pick all the standard perks that are really useful, like quickies, tough enoughs. Up in atoms is pretty useful because if you're playing solo, if you go down on accident, you kind of want to make sure you're gonna continue. So make sure you have up in atoms, but keep in mind that when you self-revive yourself in solo for a boss battle, you're not able to get any of your perks back. So just keep that in mind. So get up in atoms, and of course bang bangs, so that way you can shoot your weapons faster, and racing stripes. Now the reason why I recommend racing stripes is because you're gonna want to run really fast in this game mode, considering you're gonna be training a bunch of zombies and you want to run away from the slasher himself. And so when it comes to the weapons you want to use the light machine gun Mauler. The Mauler is probably the best light machine gun you can use in Infinite Warfare Zombies, plus it's already upgraded and Pack-a-Punch and once you pick it up in the Afterlife arcade, which is really nice. Now depending on what variants you have, make sure you have a variant of that Mauler before you start the match. I personally use an epic version of the Mauler called a Sentinel, I do believe it's called. And of course there is another epic version, but I actually don't own it, so I highly recommend using like an epic version of the Mauler if you can. Also, since you have bang bangs on, the gun it shoots absolutely ridiculously fast and it kills zombies really quickly. And for your secondary weapon, use the Acid Rain Harpoon Gun. Now there's 4 different upgraded versions of the Harpoon Gun, and I find the Acid Rain to be a lot better than the rest of them. So, I mean, they're all really good, don't get me wrong, but in my personal opinion, I really like using the Acid Rain. I would also like to mention that you guys don't need any Fate and Fortune cards in my personal opinion. Now, I do use Fate and Fortune cards in this Easter egg, but they're not really that useful. They're like the standard like Fate cards that you get. They're none that you get from any supply drops. I don't use any Fate and Fortune cards. Actually, I don't use any Fortune cards, I should say, that I earn from supply drops, because normally I don't purchase zombie crates in the actual game itself. So don't worry about Fate and Fortune cards. It's really not that big of a deal, but if you want to use some good ones, go ahead and make it easier for yourself. But the first thing you guys want to do once you jump into the boss battle, you're going to have to fill up the skulls that are around the map. There's only 2 of them, and you have to fill them up with zombie souls. So try and train a bunch of zombies. Keep in mind the giant slasher guy is going to be after you, so watch out for him, and try and get all those zombies gathered up and bring them near one of those skulls and just mow them down with your Mauler, or just shoot your acid gun at them, or excuse me, not acid gun, but the Acid Rain Harpoon Gun at them, and then a bunch of souls will fill up. And once the beam of light, because once you, of course, the skull collects a bunch of souls, it's going to start rising up in the air, and once that skull is all the way up in the air and you see like a bright beam of blue light, then you know that is done. So go to the next one and do the same thing. Once both of them are completed, there's going to be kind of this ring that you'll find with like has a bunch of symbols on it. Make sure you bring the slasher over to that ring, so that way it will of course like be on it. Once the slasher is over that ring, there's going to be a symbol that's going to pop up somewhere on the slasher's body, and you want to shoot it. Once you shoot him, your kind of rave mode will turn off, and then you'll have to actually shoot at the slasher, but only shoot him when there's more of those symbols that pop up. Once your rave ability is gone, you'll see the symbols start popping up on the slasher himself. Shoot at those. Once you start shooting all of those, he'll like of course jump right back up onto the building or the cabin or whatever, and you have to go do the whole process again, except that this time he's gonna like do like this fiery storm at you, and you want to find like a green ring somewhere where that's like a safe circle or something, so that way you don't get hurt by like this firestorm or whatever. And then a bunch of these zombies, which are not zombies but skeletons, are going to come after you, and these skeletons are a little bit harder than the zombies. They have a lot more health than the normal zombies that you're playing against. So what I do is I actually use the acid rain weapon in order to actually kill them a little bit easier. I kind of train around the circle a little bit, and then I shoot them, so that way I don't have to die from them like really quickly. And then of course once the actual like firestorm is gone, you'll be back in Rave mode, and you have to do the same thing again by filling up the skulls with zombie souls, right? And so the only thing different this time is that there's going to be a barrier between the two skulls this time, so it's going to be a little bit harder to actually run around the area or little island that you're on. So keep that in mind, that it's going to be a little bit more close quarters. So yeah, just try and do the same thing, train a bunch of zombies, fill up all the souls into the skulls, and then once you do that, do the same thing, get the slasher over that ring of circle, and then try and shoot the symbol on him, so that way your Rave mode turns off, and then start to continue to shoot those like zombie like symbols on him, and then that way he goes back up onto the cabinet and does the same thing over again. But keep in mind, you guys, once you actually turn Rave mode off and you're trying to shoot the symbols off of the slasher himself, remember that if you kill all the zombies that are on the island, more of them will spawn. So if you keep like 1, 2, or 3 zombies left during that time period, more zombies will not spawn, so that way you don't have to actually have trouble of like zombies just spawning everywhere. So keep that in mind. Just try and keep a couple of zombies when you're actually trying to shoot the symbols off the slasher himself. So once you're in the actual third stage of going into Rave mode, there's going to be another barrier that's making it kind of harder to actually move around. So it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be more closer quarter combat, but I highly recommend running on the outside of the shore that's on the island you're on. It's a lot easier. Just trust me, you guys. Just keep running along the shore of the island itself in order to actually kind of avoid a lot of danger and stuff like that, especially the slasher himself. After you actually complete all those souls, of course you want him to go over the like ring itself and try and shoot all the symbols off of him. Once you shoot all the symbols off of him, he will not go back onto the cabin. He'll actually still keep attacking you, but this time you can actually shoot him anywhere on the body, right? You can shoot him anywhere on the body and he'll be able to die. And honestly, like once you start shooting him, once you're done with all the symbols on him, when you start shooting him, he's really not that hard to fight. And it was a lot easier to fight him once you don't have any zombies around you. Once you have like a couple zombies just running around, like I said before, I just try and keep a couple zombies so they don't keep spawning, and it's just a lot easier to kill him. And I was able to complete it in like 13 minutes doing it solo. Really not that hard. I mean, it only took me like maybe 3-4 tries in order to actually get used to this like boss battle, because I've never actually done any of the boss battles before, so this is my first time ever actually doing it, and honestly it was really easy. So that is my tip for you guys. Make sure you leave the zombies, right? Don't try to kill all of them. Try to keep at least a couple of them, so that way they don't keep spawning. Only kill them unless you're trying to collect souls for the skulls that are trying to rise up in the air, right? So that way you have that ring of circle and have the slasher go over it. So anyway, yeah, the super slasher Easter egg boss battle is honestly super easy in my opinion. And in this video, I just wanted to show you guys how to do it really easily. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating for what you guys feel this video deserves. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Call of Duty videos later in the future. And I shall catch you guys later.